Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. A little bit of a different setting. Apologies for all you guys who are maybe expecting something a little bit different. I'm on a commute this morning. I've got a bit of freelancing to do, so I am on my way. Words this morning to do some bits with a TV network. So shout out to all of you guys who are here. Apologies for the sort of different style of video, but it's back to the old days, isn't it? It is back to the old days. So shout out to all of you guys. I'll try to see if I can get a light on in here. I think it's all right though, isn't it? I think it's all right. So yeah, shout out to all of you guys. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you've been up to this weekend. JJ White's Easy Connor. How you render? Yes, in the car with Connor is back. Shout out JC, saw him at the game at the weekend. Shout out to all of the people who I saw at the weekend, by the way. I think I had about 15, 16 groups of people come up to me, which was very, very nice to see. I have to say, everybody, with, getting down to the games, and I know it's everybody's preference, what they do and how they do it, whether or not it's watching it at home, whether or not it's actually creating content down at the ground. That is just something I prefer doing. I prefer doing it and being at Leeds rather than just sitting in front of a screen and sort of doing a watch along. So there might be a few changes in what I'm doing going forward, but I'll keep you guys updated as always. Yes, Rich, back in the car. OG Rumour Mill of always, mate. Morning, Connor. Like the car broadcast looks like rain outside. Where would we be Brits without chatting about the weather? Mate, it's terrible. It's minging, absolutely minging weather. Yeah, shout out to everybody at Loftsy saying karma, everyone regarding transfers, presumably. Morning, Connor. Getting concerned now. Where's the recruitment we desperately need? Yeah, a lot of things that we're going to get into this morning. Let me know. Is the stream all right, everyone? Is the stream all right? I've just adjusted a few things on the old settings. Please let me know. Tasha, you know how it is, mate. Sean Tong says we are getting Godfrey and Sessegnon on loan and buying out Johnson and Amiri's contracts for the last 6 months. So we only use 2 loan deals to cover everything we want. Sorry, none of that will happen now. Okay, I thought you were giving us a little bit of an update there, Sean. Yeah, it's fine. Good move. Good stuff. Fantastic. Okay, so let's get into the thick of it then. What are you all here for? What are we all here to discuss? Well, it's Leo Hjelde. So listen, it might not be an absolutely barnstorming transfer, but it is interesting when you're looking at the sort of the state that Leeds are maybe in at the minute, which isn't a bad state, may I just add, but it's interesting, very, very interesting to look at. Leo Hjelde looks set to move to Sunderland on a loan deal. Whether or not, I mean, obviously Leo did really, really well at Rotherham last season, hasn't got any minutes whatsoever at Leeds United under Daniel Farke, even though sort of there was a lot of us who had high hopes for Leo, including myself. I had really high hopes for him. I liked his distribution. I liked him on that left-hand side when it came to the centre-back choice as well. I liked his strength. I liked his body position at the back. I thought his awareness is very good. And nowadays with Sunderland, they're very interesting when it comes to recruitment, Sunderland. And this is why the Hjelde thing's fascinating. They move very much on a Moneyball approach. Very data heavy. They try to replicate the Brentford style of things. And I think Sunderland are actually doing that really, really well in terms of lots of players that have come in who maybe were lost causes, and maybe players who've come in who nobody's heard of. They brought in, I believe it was 3 strikers in the summer months who absolutely nobody has heard of. And I'm not saying these strikers have performed very, very well, but they do it where they spend less, but they base it really on a data run model. Now, why that's interesting with Leo, and it was interesting with Niall Huggins, they brought him in. But why isn't Jack Clark's another one based on that, the Moneyball approach to data run model? Nobody was interested really in Jack Clark. Sunderland took a gamble on him. Amad Diallo, another one. So it's interesting because they've identified Leo Hjelde as an individual who can come in and who can essentially play as a centre back and challenge the back too. That's how Sunderland are apparently seeing him. Whilst going up there and stuff like that, they've obviously got Dan Ballard at the back. They've obviously got Luke O'Nien. I don't think Luke O'Nien is good at all. He's not sort of top 6 material, but I've always rated Hjelde. I've always rated him. I don't think he's been given a proper chance, a proper crack at the whip. But you guys know, if you've been a fan of the channel for maybe two and a half years when Leo Hjelde been at the club, I've always been a big fan of him. I like him. I like everything I've seen of him. Rotherham, absolutely huge accolades at Rotherham last season. They loved him. Now, listen, Rotherham's a very different standard to Leeds United. What's fascinating about this whole saga right now is the fact that he's gone to Sunderland, who, in my opinion, I know they're 9th, 10th now, but I think there's 2 points between them and the playoffs. They have the talent to really get into that top 6. If Leeds are in that top 6 by the end of the season, is it going to be the top 2 or is it going to be the top 6? And is Leo Hjelde going to have aided them into that top 6, which would be interesting, would be really interesting. And yet another development to this is the fact that, of course, another conclusion to this, of course, is that it's another defender leaving the club. Obviously, we know now Charlie and Daniel Farke seem to have had the making up, but it's another defender leaving Leeds United. So maybe there's a few fans turning around and going, well, what's going on here? Another defender being lost, not another one brought in. So that's where I think there's a few concerned fans. I can see it in the comment section below. Before we start, everybody properly, could you leave a like on the video? That'd be fantastic. Please make sure you subscribe as well. We've got a big sort of transfer show coming on Thursday as well. Make sure you tune in for that. We've got podcasts all across the Patreon. If you want to do these player analysis, everybody, SofaScore in the link below. Literally, you'll get data run models on Leo Hjelde from SofaScore, which is free. It's free. Hit the link in the description below. So let me get into a few of your comments. Sujal says that time is running out. I feel for us to sign anyone. Thought the 49ers would have pulled a couple of out the bag by now. Not sure now. Yeah, and I think Morning Reese as well. I think it's interesting with the dynamic of the 49ers as well, because I was under the expectation that Leeds would get things done very, very quickly in this window. That's what I thought. I came in, believe it or not. I know some of you think I'm the most negative person on planet Earth, but I'm really not when it comes to Leeds. I am positive. Sometimes I get frustrated with the club, but I genuinely believed we'd come into this window and we'd have two sort of laid out straight up already done. And the reason I thought that is because we had the CEO really speaking about the on a podcast, Angus Kinnear, the 2 loan options that Leeds United have with the 2 players that have obviously, the 2 sort of loan gaps that we have in the club. Leeds have 2 availabilities when it comes to loan. Jed Spence went 3 availabilities for loan. Leeds have got weaker. Luke Ayling then went. We've got even weaker now. I'm not saying that these players were getting in, and they weren't. Jed Spence was barely getting in. Luke Ayling was barely getting in. Leo Hjelde is barely getting in. And I've spoken plenty of times about getting rid of the fat, getting rid of those external players that are not going to be playing for the club. So in a weird kind of sense, it makes a lot of sense what Leeds are doing right now in terms of getting rid of it. I'd like to see Jamie Shackleton leave the club on a permanent. If Leeds can get a permanent transfer for him, I don't know why we'd be looking for a loan. I have no idea why we'd be looking for a loan for Jamie Shackleton. Just get rid of him. Just get rid of him. Not good enough. Get rid of him. Now, that's not the problem. The problem there lies in what are Leeds doing then to supplement that, to supplement the quality that is leaving. What are we then bringing in to strengthen the squad? So looking around, you're probably getting Southampton now. It's looking very likely that they're going to be saying the signing Manuel Benson. They've obviously got Joe Rothwell through the door, the Bournemouth midfielder. Ipswich are looking still at Kiefer Moore, Sam Gallagher. They've also brought in Travis. They've also brought in Sarmiento, who scored again at the weekend. You've got Leicester, who look like they're getting closer and closer to bringing in Sensei and keeping hold of Keenan Dewsbury Hall. They've said no bid below 40 million will get him. So what Leeds are doing right now, they've kept hold of all the stars, potentially giving Willie Gnonto a new contract. It all makes sense. It really does. It all makes sense. So the issue, I think, with a lot of fans is it's that next level of quality. We haven't been in the top 2 at all this year. We haven't. We could get very, very close. We could be in the top 2 by Friday. Excellent news. Excellent news. I think that the slight issue for a lot of fans, as I keep mentioning, is the fact that, you know, these teams in the rounders may have 1 or 2 games in hand. You know, of course they will, but the pressure is on these teams to then get above Leeds United. But are we good enough in these positions? Is Sam Byram good enough? A lot of you will abuse me for that. Is Sam Byram good enough? I've never been too sure. Junior Firpo, if he can remain fit, has proven me wrong so far. You know, he's been very decent when he's been playing for Leeds United. I actually gave him the man of the match, the sort of a match before this. But overall, if you're asking me if I'm still getting a centre back, yes. If you're asking me if I'm still getting a left back, of course. So left back and centre back are still, and this hasn't changed because Charlie Cresswell's made up with Daniel Farker. This hasn't changed because Junior Firpo's had a little bit of a run in the side. This hasn't changed because Sam Byram hasn't been out with a new knee injury for 2 weeks. We still need players in that position. In those positions, for me. This is all opinion based. Now, what we're getting now is a little bit of a split in the fan base. We're getting, calm down, it's fine, they've got till Thursday. And then we're getting, Connor, what the F are we doing right now? Why are we not signing X, Y, and Z? And there's no real middle ground at the minute. So there's almost panic, but then there's people who will literally go to 11:59 on deadline day or 10:59, whatever it is, and say, calm down, we know what we're doing. But then they are the sort of people, which is absolutely fine. These are the sort of people who will turn around on deadline day after saying we will get players in and say it's absolutely fine, we'll still go up as champions, which is fine. As I say, it's football, it's subjective. But from a personal perspective, I believe that they need to be getting at least 2 in. And I think when you're getting the manager in the last 2 press conferences saying we're very, very thin, and essentially say, you know, paraphrasing, but we need players in really to supplement that. Yeah. Anyway, keep getting your comments in the section below. Obviously, we're after the Japanese right back yesterday. That has been, we were interested in that. Definitely interested in that one. And then Leeds United have been pipped to the post, unfortunately, by Luton. Yes, Connor, but defenders who are no longer good enough for Leeds United, we're ready to get rid of the. I'd agree with you, Nick. I'd agree with you. The problem is, mate, it's not getting. That's not the issue, I don't think. The issue is, what are we doing then to supplement that? So we've naturally got weaker. The depth has got weaker. It's got smaller. Leo Hjelde, Luke Ayling, Jed Spence, 3. You know, in that defensive structure where we're going to be losing Liam Cooper at the end of the season anyway. We're going to be losing Joe Rodon at the end of the season anyway. We're potentially going to be losing Pascal Struijk at the end of the window, whatever happens. Pascal Struijk, by the way, who potentially has a grade 3, grade 4 hamstring injury right now, so we don't know how long he's going to be out for. Could be another 6 weeks, could be another 3 weeks. It just feels, everyone, that we are an injury away, like Leeds United always are. But we're an injury away from it all really being problematic. And I'm talking Ampadu, I'm talking Gruev, just an injury in there. And I feel like another centre-back would really, really, really help that. Leo has so much potential, but bad injuries haven't helped him. I also think he didn't take his chance earlier in the season when he got hooked in both Cardiff and Shrewsbury matches. That's true, mate, 100%. I've always been quietly positive that we would do something this window, but fade in. Yeah, I mean, the good thing is they're interested in these players, Craig. That's the good thing. They're interested in these players. Worse than Rads. Richard says, good morning, Connor. Yesterday, yet another was going to sign a player. Then he goes somewhere else. Benson going to Southampton. Yeah, he's definitely going to Southampton. There is still time. Shack Attack, calm down. It's going to be okay. I'm absolutely calm. I'm still calm. I still think we're bringing 2 before the deadline. Drive with care. Yes, Andrew, always. Although Willie hasn't got proper game time, he's very inconsistent this season. So I think we almost might have to recruit a winger. And Ken, that's what they were evidently doing with Benson. I don't think the Nonso situation, if you're looking at it really, mate, has made a difference. I don't think it's made a difference. I think Leeds were still, even with Nonso, I thought it'd be either one or the other in terms of giving contract to Willie and then signing Benson. But it seems like Leeds were doing both. They were trying to do both. So looks like they've missed out on Benson to Southampton. But yeah, No, very interesting when it comes to that. Godfrey is the guy that fits all these positions. Well, I think, Ryan, it depends on what we're looking at here long term. So let's analyse a lot of those players. Cresswell is not going to get minutes whatsoever. I think this is a lot of this, from my perspective, has been circulated around the fact that Leeds have literally no depth at the back now, and he really needs to get Cresswell back on side. That's my opinion. My opinion. Could be wrong. They could have just had a little sorting out, and now Cresswell's going to be in the fold. But I'd be stunned towards the back end of the season if you see Charlie Cresswell getting any real minutes whatsoever, even when we're thin at the back. For example, there's no chance Ampadu's going to be brought out at the back, even though you've got a natural bench option on the sidelines. And why would he? Ampadu's playing really well, but still he's getting no game time. Strout, definitely, but there is potential right now that he's out for a long period of time. This injury is adductor, but apparently there's something wrong with his hamstring as well. Joe Rodon will potentially not be a Leeds player at the end of the season. Liam Cooper is out of contract at the end of the season, and Ethan Ampadu is a defensive midfielder. So when you're looking at all of those, it's about progressional development of the side. That's what it's about. It's not just about Leeds United, the here and now. It's about what's going to be happening going forward. It's about recruiting for the future as well. Bringing a centre-back in right now, a versatile centre-back as well. We've all been screaming Ben Godfrey, but there's other names out there as well. If you do that right now, you're going to cover the back line whenever there's injuries with quality. It's not just about having bodies. It's about having bodies with quality. Bodies with quality as well. You know, it's not just about having players there who can play in the side and system. It's got to be having players there who can effectively do it, and hopefully in the future can then effectively do it in the Premier League. I trust the management to make the right decisions. Well done, 49ers. JB Bate as well. Yeah. Nearly 500 people watching, 26 likes. Come on, guys. That's shocking. Get a like on the video. Dale says, I agree with getting rid of players. However, we need to bring... That's it, Dale. That's all it is. It's getting rid of players is the right move, but it's bringing players in as well. And it's not great, I don't think, to see constant players going out and nothing coming in when we're evidently after players as well, when we're interested in players. Pascal out for 7 weeks. Yeah, mate. And that's what we know of, by the way. It's, yeah, I don't think it's a good one with Pascal. I think we're all seeing that now. Hope Charlie plays away at Plymouth, definitely. Morning, mate. Hi, Rye. Will Ver be back at the end of the season? Wouldn't surprise me. Hey, it really wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, so let's see. So I only think 2 fullbacks are what's needed, but Strauch is out for a while. It might be worth getting a central midfielder from the bench. Yo, Connor, another crap window, says Paul. Be honest, Connor, are we going to sign anyone? I think we might get one in. But I think it'll be a right back. I think it's interesting how they went for a right back and they're going for one. Obviously, they were beaten to the punch by Luton. But yeah, I think we'll get a right back in. I think he's fine with Firpo and Byram as a partnership. I don't think he's got any problems with that. So, yeah, I don't think he's got any problems with that whatsoever. So, yeah, as I say, guys, it's the reason I like doing these streams, is I like to gauge the temperature of the fan base as well. I like to see what's going on. Me, myself, I'm not drastically panicking about this. I'm not. I think I have my expectation of where Leeds will finish this window. Anything more in terms of this window and the season, anything more, I'll be over the moon. And I still always have hope. And there is potential that we can go to the top 2 on Friday. I just think when we're in this position now and we've been there before, it's all about being smart, recruitment-wise. Of course it is, and it's not about panicking. The side, the entire structure should not panic, of course. But it's interesting that people who are saying, we don't need players in, people who are saying we don't need X, Y, and Z in, I do wonder then why the club have 100% looked at Ben Godfrey. I know that for a fact, not from the Leeds side as well, by the way. That is 100% a fact. So they're looking at Ben Godfrey, a makeshift centre-back who can play right back, left back. They're looking at a Japanese right back, and they've been looking at Benson. So if there was nothing whatsoever, right? and the club had set the stall out. We're not doing anything. You kind of look at that and you'd be like, okay, fair enough. But they are. So does that make it a little bit worse that they're looking at players and at the minute it's not working? Maybe not. As I say, we judge them on Thursday, don't we? But I think when they're in the position that they are, which is obviously in the top 4 in the division, they've got the potential to go into the top 2. We saw still a few issues with this side the other day against Plymouth. I think we all saw that. And you can't just put that down to Daniel Farke. There are some lapses in concentration. I think there are lapses in quality at points. And we need to really get players in that are going to boost the squad. We all need, every time, I heard Jack Grealish say it, and he was talking about, I think it was Matheus Nunes for City. He said when Matheus was brought in, we all got a boost. It's what happens. The team gets a boost. The whole squad gets a boost. It's what happens when you bring in a player. It's like, oh, a new signing, somebody who's going to help us along the way. So they've got to do it. Yeah, 49ers got to the Super Bowl as well. Connie, you'll panic if Roden gets it. Of course I will, mate. Of course I will. Would you not? Short-sighted player to opt for a team that is bound for the championship compared with a team that is probably Premiership bound. Yeah, I agree, Sujal. I agree. No, I agree. And that's obviously talking about the Japanese right back. Are we losing out because our defence is too good right now? Who's going to get minutes over our current back 4? Well, the thing is, Gav, I would have said earlier on in the window, I'd have still said Ryan Giles. I'd have liked Ryan Giles. I think it's interesting that they've been looking at Manuel Benson, but once again, I'm not 100% sure he gets in. And so you're right. You are right. And that's the predicament Leeds find themselves in. But that's the job of recruitment. The job of recruitment is because it's one of the hardest in football. But overall, you are right. But I think we get a left back in who slots in right now. And I still want Archie in midfield. I do. Still want Archie in midfield. So I'd like an out-and-out right back. He's developing so much as a professional at right back. But I believe his best position is central midfield. So I want to see him develop in central midfield. I want to see him develop in there. But if we are going to keep him at right back, fair enough. No problems with that. But they've got to go out and get a left back. For me. I said this on the video the other day, and I could be wrong. And it's doomsday a little bit, but it's based on things that have happened before. I'm a little bit worried because before, when we've been a little bit inactive, we've then seen, especially under Bielsa, we've then seen in February and March breakdowns of players. And then we've looked at it and gone, oh, should have done something there. And I'm just a little bit worried, especially when Farke, who has been stepping back from it, really, has said we're thin on the ground. And for a lot of people who are essentially a little bit naysaying it and saying, well, why do we need this? Why do we need that? Why is Farke in his press conferences essentially saying, yeah, he is. Come on, he is. Read between the lines. Can't exactly say it because he's a professional in the job. It'll be hammering on players who are there and have the capabilities to do it. We're thin on the ground. He's essentially saying new bodies, if they were to come in, wouldn't be a problem. That'd help us. That's what he's essentially saying. If you're not reading that from the press conference, I don't know what to say to you. I really don't. That is what he's saying. And this is a guy at the start of the window who was not really that bothered. That's how you've got to look at it. I feel February, March, going into the running, it's all very different now. And this is Leeds fans are very, very much like this is a fan base. It's like, well, we could be in the top 2 by Friday, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We don't need anyone in. But then if we were to lose, or let's say if we were to lose 2 of the next 5 games and there was an injury in there, it'd be, oh, why didn't we do anything in January? What's going on? That's how it always works with this fan base. So I think now, proactively, as a fan base, we do need to look at those long-term effects a little bit. And obviously, it's going to see us in really good stead for the Premier League as well. Remember us weakening while others strengthened in in January 18-19, and we ended up missing out on promotion. Remember when Saeed's left without I do, mate, I do. And then Pablo sort of moulded into that, didn't he? But we never even replaced Pablo, did we? Hjelde to Sunderland. Yeah. Hjelde's leaving. So, yeah, let's hope, everybody. Anyway, before I leave in this car here right now, please leave a like on the video. We are going to be doing a podcast a little bit later on the Patreon. We may even do the debrief later on tonight, but we're always going to keep you updated on the channel, everybody. Please make sure you join YouTube memberships as well. £2 a month really helps me out. Or if you want bonus content, £4 a month for loads of bonus content on the Patreon. We've got 200 members over there. Join over there. You can hit the Discord for a free WhatsApp chat, the description below as well, essentially. I'm always in there, but as well, everybody, hit the link for SofaScore. Gives you all the detailed analysis on all the players that we're going to be looking at in this window, the ones that I've been speaking about today as well. Just Leeds United as a whole. On game day, it's unbelievable. Momentum bars, analysis is fantastic. Free if you hit the link in the description below as well. I'll see you in a bit, guys, everyone.